Alright, Psycho, you ready to do this? Okay, yes, you need to set up the private lobby, and I'm logging in now.
1 minute.
Alright, that was stressful, but ultimately very profitable.
All systems nominal.
And just, like, she was supposed to be here 20 minutes ago. I'm like, I've got a meeting at 5. We gotta do this fast. Buy it or don't. So she's like, alright, I'll buy it, I'm sorry. Literally I'm doing a circle right now. So the stream is live. It's doing some
primary objective. Successful. Proceed to dust-off zone for extraction. Sensors indicate friendly dropship has entered atmosphere. ETA dropship 1 minute. Shutdown sequence initiated.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably going to be the premier match of the week. We have two very, very good teams here. As we try and get them all into lobby, seems God Squad's having some personal issues with one of their 2v2 pilots. We're trying to get everything sorted out here, but we will be going live as soon as possible. Anyway, I'm here with my co-caster, Psychomatic. Say hi, Psycho.
Hello there.
And more than anything, just trying to get things squared away.
Yep, it looks like we got two of our participants already set to go.
Alright, send Stimrog. Stimrog is going to be their 2v2 pilot.
Gotcha.
Stimrog, invite to lobby. Cool. Send me back over to the spectators, and we should be able to get going here momentarily.
Perfect. This will be fun to watch. I've only ever watched JGX fight in faction play when I used to play for GNX, so I'll get to see something a little bit different now in terms of their play style, hopefully.
Not only that, they'll be taking it a lot more seriously, because
Oh, yeah.
these guys, they have all the premium time and MC they could ever want. They spend it on ridiculous bolt-ons and make their mechs look like something coming out of a Frankenstein book. This is all about the pride and the fun of the competition for both of them at this point.
Yeah, no, they like to make a statement both with their mechs and their loadouts, it seems.
Well, I wish I just wouldn't make that statement so garishly.
Nah, come on, you gotta enjoy it sometimes.
I don't have to enjoy anything, man. I've seen some of these loadouts. They hurt my eyes.
If it works, it ain't stupid.
So
it looks like we got God Squad's guys in here now.
It's always been kind of interesting because JGX doesn't have too many people who stream, or at least not
Really?
team-wide. Well, I mean, they kind of do. Kraz doesn't do any personal streams, but he's been running MWOComp for as long as I've been in it.
Mm-hmm.
And almost everybody in God Squad streams in some capacity, so it's always been really interesting, the team dynamics. A lot of solo, very highly skilled players versus a team that's been playing together, since 2017 or so? Probably
that's right, yeah,
you
were mentioning that. Yeah, they got that team dynamic and chemistry that's pretty hard to beat when on the field.
Caster will double check before launches.
10 minutes for lobby time?
Yes. All the matches are 10 minutes. And we got to remember to set time of day to day on River City, because apparently everyone's computer dies when it switches from sunset to night.
Yeah, the frames do tend to take a shit after that.
Oh. It is an old game, and it's not gotten much love lately, but I still enjoy the hell out of it. So
we do the best we can to keep it on, life support and everything, right?
Well, it doesn't even need the life support. Like, it's a fun game in its own right if they just stop messing with it.
They can't decide what they want. They want to fix something, then they have to break something else for it. It's like sacrificing.
Yeah, we're on the third or fourth iteration of faction play. They tried
They tried
the whole comp thing in browser and in game. Didn't really work, but so just waiting on Stimrog to ready and lock. I don't think he was planning on being in this 2v2, so we'll cut him a bit of slack here. Try and get these matches going as fast as we can, but God Squad had one pilot dip out due to some personal issues, so hopefully he'll be back soon, but soon is a relative term.
Alright, it looks like we're all locked here.
Cool.
I think.
And let's launch it. 2v2.
Launching.
Music volume quite high. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying a couple new things on the back end, so not all of them are going to work. Some of them are going to require some fine tuning. I needed something so people didn't keep missing the 2v2s. Have we crashed? Please tell me now.
I don't think so.
One of them crashed.
Uh-oh. And it looks like red team is already moving out.
Okay, there we go. Huntsman, Direwolf, Veagle, Executioner. So PBCs from Jaguar Guards, lots of Pop-Tart. And we've got likely AC2s from Stimrog.
We do have AC2s on Stimrog, yes. This is going to be interesting considering the fact that he's going to have to fight
Huntsman,
that Executioner.
land.
Those PBCs are going to give him a rough time, but we'll see if he's able to hold out.
Okay, well, I can't apparently check the Huntsman's loadout. We'll just have to wait till we shoot something. They're being able to close in here fairly uncontested. Not a lot of damage going down to the Huntsman, and the Direwolf's back here in the corner in the low ground.
It seems that the Huntsman has a mix of close and long range. He does have a bunch of SRM2s as well as PPCs.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's got 7 SRM2s.
I do like the Executioner choice because you have all these low buildings. You could really abuse those jump jets and the mask.
Yeah, the mask is definitely making a very favorable mech for this because he can peek out and get back to cover as soon as possible. And it looks like they're dropping a strike on the Huntsman.
Yeah, but it's not... You can't really hide the strike smoke very well on this map. There's no textures. There's no... unless they pop a UAV, and you can pop it up above them. Not really anything you can do.
Right. Looks like the Direwolf is straying away from the Huntsman, so he's trying to get a better angle on, but hopefully he doesn't leave him out to die if they make a push, which I don't think they will right now so early into the match. But considering the speed on that Executioner, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't particularly like the Direwolf pick. I think he's going to be abused too much by these PPCs and Pop-Tarts. He's not going to be able to bring those AC2s to bear.
Speed is not on his side when it comes to the poke game, so he's at a major disadvantage right now.
Yeah, Bowser's just kind of taking a pounding.
Mm-hmm. That right torso isn't looking so hot.
I will say, JGX is staying together and committing to this. You know, we're both going to peek the same sight line. They probably have better shots at Bowser as he flies away. If they split up just a little bit longer.
They seem to be working in tandem well together, too. I mean, you were bringing up the fact that they had that chemistry that they've been playing together for a long time, right?
Well, Godscod's been playing together for a while as well. Just they keep changing the name of the comp team every time because there's so many different units attached to it. Because they were nod, I believe, for TLC1 and placed second.
Yeah, you would have the experience of knowing that more than I do since my debut came in with Season 1 of TOC when I played for Aces Wild.
Yeah, we've got quite a number of new comp teams and comp players, but I really hope they're all watching this because this is more or less the highest level of gameplay we've got in MechWarrior anymore. Pretty
much. It looks like the Direwolf is pushing up to try and get those weapons on effective ranging right now.
Yeah.
Huntsman coming up to back him.
It's been a very slow match. Team 2 has no reason to poke into the PPCs, and Jaguar Guards has not been really looking for the angles. Pasha might get caught out here if this Huntsman closes. They're finally
like
split
he's trying
up,
to get an angle
it's
on
not
that
going to
Veagle.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another strikeout on the Huntsman.
It's just a little sad that the optimal play for both these teams is make the other one cross the open ground.
Pretty much, you're just waiting to see who's going to be ballsy enough to get across no man's land and then capitalize on it.
Stimrog's going for it here, so...
Yeah, it looks like he's going all in as well as the Huntsman, which is a very smart move, try and get those SRMs to bear and do some extra damage up close.
If they can catch Pasha away from any cover, the Direwolf can pound a bit of the dirt. He's got to get away from cover, and I don't think Pasha's going to let him do that.
Speaking of cover, it looks like Naveed is hanging way back, and Pasha did just drop a UAV to try and get better eyes on for his teammate, and it looks like they're going to be closing in soon if he's not careful.
Yeah, Naveed is making sure the Direwolf can't around the left side corner, so he's going to try around the right side.
Very
Pasha's just going to flex back.
really useful in this case because it allows him to be comfortable with one side and be able to flank around without having any issues of getting flanked as himself.
Well, they finally found the UAV and they're going to shoot it. I don't think SRMs are quite the way to shoot down a UAV. I don't know how much ammo Bowser has.
True, but I bet you that angle was too high for the PPCs to bear.
Yeah, he's using the high torso mounts, trying to get as much as he can out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this game of Ring Around the Rosie is slowly chipping away at this direwolf. I mean, Pasha's playing everything correctly, staying back, making sure he's not cornered. Navid's doing all the damage from long range, so he's going to have a really good match after this.
Looking at the armor on the Huntsman, I mean, he could have a chance of getting some damage out on the Executioner, but I bet he would result in his own death if he isn't careful.
Well, they're flexing like they're trying to go get Navid, but why would you go after the...
Why are they in the... They just caught themselves in the open now, and they got both of them on target.
Yeah,
no cover anywhere, and that direwolf is too slow to get to cover himself and protect.
I mean, it's PPCs. Cover doesn't matter as much because you're fighting people with very good shots. And
that is true.
If you have any of your mech exposed,
just got halved. He is now down to 4 AC2s, and his other side torso is open. So if he gets a good shot on there, that is the end of the direwolf.
Yeah, I think this was a deck win by Jaguar guards.
Yep.
PPC
and
Pop
down
Tarts.
goes the direwolf.
PPC Pop Tarts are the way to play this map.
Mm-hmm. GGX now closing in. Looks like Pasha's going to go all in with his smaller lasers, try and get the kill.
Yeah, it's going to be just a matter of can Bowser drop the Executioner, but I don't believe he's got the firepower left to do so.
Looking at the armor of the Executioner, I don't think that's likely now with how much weaponry has been taken off.
Yeah, and it looks like the fighting is like he's still torso twisting like a mad lad.
Yeah, he's still in it. He doesn't want to go down easy. He's making them work for it. And that's it.
Solid match win. So we'll see what side
it's just a matter of positioning and speed on that.
Check the match stats and yeah, it's just a deck loss. Like the direwolf is the wrong thing to bring, but I mean I commend them that he responded quickly. He just didn't respond correctly.
Huntsman was the Huntsman. Sorry, he was pulling in a lot of work there, getting 466. Pasha and Navid getting pretty similar numbers, so they both put in their own work.
So let's go see what side JGX wants.
Okay. In the meantime, the map set up.
So I don't believe I actually gave you the map strat room.
No, you did not.
I
believe we were on Frozen City Night, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me set it to Conquest. Nope, that's not it.
Did JGX pick a side?
I've not seen anything put into the chat yet.
Throw me to team 2, please, so I can invite Magoat. Get all those guys in here.
All right, looks like GGX will be staying on Team 1 for this one.
Driving back spectators. And we're good to go. So, real quick, taking a look at the map strat. We've seen a number of things. The lower divisions tend to like to fight of the dropship across Charlie 3. We've seen a couple of the mid-rank teams try and do Theta strats.
Yeah. Depending on what they bring, it may be a rush, but knowing these guys, they'll probably play careful and try and get the kills first before anything else. Only time they would probably bring up a cap point is to try and put some pressure on the enemy team.
Yeah, it's always developed into a brawl. The question is where it's going to happen.
Yeah, usually the main conflict is going to be around here, but depending on what will happen if they push, it could also come up near Crow's Nest and be around this region as well, in between Bravo and Charlie 4. But we'll see how fast they get into position and engage.
Well, a lot depends on what heavy you bring and how fast he is. So some of the
Exactly.
Orion 2Cs are 81, but you
Yeah,
decide you
that
want
heavy
your
really defines your speed on how quickly you can engage and how fast you can adapt in case they pull a fast one.
Yeah, we've seen more or less everyone take sort of mid-range brawl. I think the longest range heavy I've seen had AC-10s on it. So yeah, Stim is just a little confused, but I don't know why he left the match. He would have seen that if he hadn't.
Yeah. Stim has been in comp before, correct? I recognize his name, but I haven't seen him much since I myself am just a rookie.
Everybody in here has been in comp before. So.
Gotcha.
Plus, we get to watch St. Pauli, who has the most aggressive summoner play that you will ever see. It's very,
Looking
very
forward
fun to
to
watch
that.
him. Be like 37% diving 4-on-1. Total madman. Kong Lord, 100% meme Lord. Will be casting, I believe, Waffle House's matches tomorrow. So, fun
Nice.
times.
Yeah, I remember he used to cast for season 1 for Aces Wilds matches a few times. I think towards the end.
Yeah, he does enjoy those low-level matches and being surprised, let's put it that way, by
I think it's
builds and
fun with the low
strategies.
level because you don't know what to expect because these guys aren't used to the metas as often as we would hope for in higher level, teams. And so pull a little bit of a unorthodox tactic going on will always be a bit of entertainment for the guys that are watching.
Well, so we're getting in. EMP they're hiding their tonnage fairly well. It's hard to say what we've got. Do have them on the clock. I don't know. That's always the problem with these Div A matches, man. They fucking take forever because,
They literally love their planning.
well, they're doing the planning in the lobby and they're reacting to the team in front of them, which is good. You don't have like a full set plan going in. You can be a little more on your feet, but it takes forever.
Yeah, it's not completely locked, but it is going to be quite a hefty amount of time to make sure everything's set for what you hope to happen.
225. That seems light to me.
Well, knowing JGX, they do have a plan with that.
It's not that light. They're, I think, 15 tons under max tonnage.
Mm-hmm.
So probably an Orion 2C, Black Knight, and some other 75 tonner. Could be a Night Cheer if they're feeling particularly bold. Thanatos with MRMs, maybe.
Nightshare would pose a problem for the lighter mechs on the enemy team, yeah, depending on the build of what they have.
It'd be
If
the
it's the one
triple
that I'm thinking of,
LBX10s.
that's what I was thinking, yeah. I say that as the build that we were thinking in case, pull a fast one.
Well, I've enjoyed casting these matches because I learn all sorts of things, like all old meta mechs, like Cataphracts and like apparently Phoenix Hawks 2 are amazing. I never would have done that had I not tried to cast a JGX match and like gone, what the hell are they bringing and why? So
They shake things up a little.
I've got my notebook dusted off. I'm ready to get some strats, get some ideas because we don't
Class is
play our
in
match till
session.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be fun.
Looks like the action at MWO Leagues 1 is about to wrap up, so we should be getting a nice influx of players here shortly.
Perfect.
Team 2 is currently really, really light. 20, 30 tons underneath.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to adapt and match as much of that tonnage as possible from JGX.
Yeah, could be a flea or a piranha or something to do some early cap pressure.
I kind of want to say it would either be a flea or piranha, most likely, anything else. Maybe a locust if they want to be a little bit different.
I'm desperately
But
trying to remember who the like world famous commando pilot for the MWOComp scene is.
I'm sure many hands will be raised.
Chortles is who it was.
Gotcha. Which variant does he run usually?
He does the double SRM 4 2 small lasers. But,
okay, so he uses the 1D.
He does the meta one, but he's the one that made that thing meta because he plays it so well.
Does he run LFE on it or XL?
XL, but he's also Chortles and does not die. He does this like half stutter step. Like he'll be going right and he'll let go for a frame to tilt the commando in the other direction.
Oh, that's
and
dirty.
He
That's
just
an ankle break.
exactly. Like it's impossible to shoot him.
Yeah, I run the zoom build on my commando as well sometimes. I ran it for season 1 and it was amazing in terms of being able to catch up with the other lights that were usually faster than the commando and be able to just get
Looks
on the
like
back.
we're locked here. Wait for them to say it, but we should be able to launch. They are
Yep.
30 tons under, so this is... They're already in a hole they've got to climb out of. Let's see if they can do it.
We will see. What we were hoping for here is a very bloody and gruesome brawl, but knowing mechs, maybe just brutal is the best word for it.
Well, all these guys love their PBC. It's like Pasha was the one that taught me how to Pop-Tart.
Pasha, I have been targeted by him so many times in faction that I just look under the bed for Pasha when it comes to PPCs.
All right, so both mechs are starting a little more towards Theta, so we could see the higher level play going towards Theta instead of dropship. So we wait here to go live. I've got a Rifleman 2C. I've got a Wolfhound, a Commando, a K9. Is
this the wrong map?
Yes. It's Frozen.
They said Frozen City Classic.
Frozen City. Yeah. It's Frozen City Classic Night because it doesn't have all this fog and stuff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to get the maps right, even on these little things. They're chosen for a reason. But it is kind of the breaking in of a new co-caster here. Things happen.
Uh-oh.
You're fired, Psycho.
I had one job.
Well, you know. Bowser is the last man standing. As I said that he falls over.
Yes.
And is no longer standing. Okay, Frozen City Night Classic. Hopefully they'll just re-ready and we'll be able to drop very, very quickly. Yeah, the odd fuzz is awful.
Mm-hmm. Sure, I won't hear the end of that one for a bit, but I will make sure that it is corrected.
Well, they'll send complaints my way. They love picking on me almost as much as they love picking me on level.
Frozen City.
All right, re-ready. Let's should be able to drop.
Yes.
Officially, under the rules, they can all change their mechs and strats and everything now, but...
Yes.
I don't know. I really feel like we could have shortened the rule book, saying... Yes. You are allowed to change your mechs and full new timers. Full new timer.
Full new timer.
Sorry. Oh. Then again, I'm looking over here at the MWO1 chat. Apparently, Level has muted himself through the interviews, so we're not the only ones suffering, apparently.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if suffering is the right word for it, but it does get annoying, I'm sure, if someone's making repeated mistakes, which will hopefully mitigate now.
I'm not throwing the co-caster under the bus. It was my fault. I knew I needed to double check him because we're trying something a little new here. So It's always the main caster's fault, even if it is the co-caster's fault.
We both get shot in the end.
Buck stops here, kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. So just to reiterate, just before we start to make sure everything's correct, we do have Frozen City Night Classic on Conquest for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Cat
Both
point theta.
teams are locked except for Naveed and Stimrog.
That team one is ready.
Seems I'm not the only one when it comes with awareness problems.
Well, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, they're reacting. They're already talking about new strats and everything else. So
It's just a pain. They're like, okay, we got to devise new things. Okay, it looks both teams are locked. We will be setting this now and ready to roll.
Well, even if you only have to change one mech when you own, 400 of the things because you've been in the game so long, it does get a little hard to find them all.
I remember, I can't remember who it was in the comp scene a few years back in CS 2019, how one guy was talking about how he had 600 mechs. I'm like, God damn. You have way too much time on your hand, my friend.
Well, it's all these guys that have played forever, back when you had to master mechs and had to have 3 of them in order to do it. Okay, so we have more or less the same team here from
Correct.
God Squad.
There we go. Now we are on the correct scene.
So,
No more of that gross snow.
alrighty here. The Rifleman 2C is
like-
kind of the interesting pick. What does Pasha have on the Black Widow?
Pasha seems to be having... He has 4 Ultra AC5s.
So they're a little farther ranged. Probably sacrificed quite a lot of ammo making that happen. Kraz here.
In line with the medium pulse
Panther,
build, like it.
MPLs and SRMs. Vulcan has 3 PPCs. They're going a lot of long range.
Bowser is going with an interesting build for the Rifleman. Instead of going for the Daka, he's going for 4 clan large pulse lasers. So not really too much long range, but he is going to be doing some havoc once he gets closer.
So Stim is the main scouting force, and he's finding out that everyone's near the dropship, so free Theta Cap point for God Squad. Gonna make the most of their mobility advantage.
It looks like the Vulcan is going off on his own right now. Stimrog getting some recon in as best he can.
Yeah, you get
As
the
suggested
Rifleman
before.
going along the outside. He's gonna play long range, sitting probably over here in Bravo, 4? With these 4 LPLs.
I believe so, yeah.
Basically banking on the fact that they didn't bring any long range, but little does he know there's a Black Widow with Ultra 5s and a Vigo with triple PPCs. So
They may be hoping
Bowser's
for
days
a
are
cliff
numbered.
dive. Yeah, they may be hoping for a cliff dive here to bring those close range weapons to bear, but knowing JGX, they're probably just going to try and stand off and just pick them off at range as best they can.
Well,
I
lots
did
of
guess a little bit
UAZs
correct,
going
though.
up and lots of UAVs being immediately shot down.
UAV lives matter, come on.
Not in this game.
Yeah, apparently not.
So Navi got eyes on Bowser, and so the trade fight begins. Looks like St. Pauli is leading a group over here, trying to pick off the Eagle. He's a bit unsupported, but team is going to back him up pretty quickly here. I don't know if Stimrog wants that fight. 5v3. 4v3.
Looks like
at this
Kong
point.
is holding the point right now with a death knell. He is staying close to it and hugging the rock wall, as we see. Looks like he's moving up a little bit now with the team, though, to not get left behind.
Yeah, the impetus is on JGX here to act, and I think they're going to act by sniping out and killing Bowser from the back. Stimrog's the only one here with jump jets, unless that K9 surprises me and has 3 instead of the usual 1.
I do not know exactly what number he has, but I do know he does have them.
Well,
They
it needs
really
to be able
could
to pop art
capitalize
off
on
the
this.
ball.
Yeah. They could take the advantage here and try and knock out Bowser early, but it also depends on how far they have to get out there to peek and get shot themselves.
Navid is getting pasted by these LPLs. He's really hurting, right leg almost open.
Yep.
Definitely needs to kind of limit his jump jet exposure time a little bit.
It looks like Stimrog's trying to get up on top of the rock face here on the cliff and flank around behind JGX and get a shot on. Oh, never mind. Looks like he changed his mind. And we're
Yeah,
back to it over here on the main front.
God Squad's solely focusing on Navid and this Veal because he's the biggest threat to Bowser that they have. Pasha's now getting in the game with the Black Widow. Looks like Bowser's about to go down here. He's going to make him
About to
pay
say.
for it like last time. Strike's going out trying to cover his escape as he gets underneath, but I think it's...
Song Lord leading the charge right now up the hill.
Yeah, the lights are coming in, but trying to punish the
Yeah.
long range here, but they've got to go in. They can't sit here and fight in this corner. They're going to get chewed up too much.
That commando. Oh, and one of them goes down. That is
Back
Stimrod,
shot.
first casualty.
Yeah, he got back shot and probably an XL.
Mhm.
LFEs are for Vulcans, guys. Vulcan lives matter.
That's really going to hurt them now, and it looks like multiple casualties on God Squad's side. We have McGoat and Stimrog down. Now St. Pauli. It looks like Kong Lord is about to go next if he does not get out of there soon. Bowser bringing up the rear, but already halved.
Yeah, you gotta get... Maybe they get the kill on the
And-
Panther with Kraz, but I believe Kong Lord...
And I think that's all she wrote.
He got the
Kong
leg, but he doesn't get the mech.
And
Only one kill.
good night, sweet Prince God Squad. That is a victory for JGX.
Cool. I'll get that all put in, and when the match is over, just swap the teams around and put them under the same 5-minute clock. So
Gotcha.
the next match is going to be total mind blank moment.
Words are hard.
Tourmaline. I should know this, but they'll kind of blend together at some point.
They all become one map.
I mean, dude, this is what my second cast. I got one more to go. I've got my own plans. I've got other people's strats. Like,
I feel like your brain's on
same-
overload right now.
well, it's the same 5 maps. It's just you got to remember the order of them because I kept wanting to say Rubelite, but no, Rubelite's drop 4.
In the end, they all become Rubelite.
Rubelite's the best map, so that's not such a bad thing.
No, it's not. Really good hold by JGX, by the way, on keeping that push from coming up and doing any serious damage. They were able to pick them off one by one and isolate the lighter mechs.
Yeah, again, I think that was one in the mech lab more than anything, being able to counter Bowser in the LPLs. They even let him get back here and set up, but problem was just too much long range. Navid had the PPCs and the Ultra 5s could reach out and touch him, so he was 2v1. Lights came in, tried to help, but getting up the hill, a little rough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can probably tell that in the damage spread. Stimrog, 111, McGoat and the Wolfhound, 115. They just couldn't get up there and affect the fight enough.
Yeah. Damage numbers on JGX side really show how well they were able to use their tonnage effectively. Dario only needing to get in 171 damage in his K9, which means he wasn't really that needed. Which is good, though. It means they were able to move up effectively and take out any threats that would have been serious.
Well, we can always go check the ever-present and all-important stat, the only one that really matters. How much team damage did they do? It's not loading the correct...
Alright, let me get the team.
There it is.
Tourmaline, there we go.
Very little team damage. McGoat topping out with 16. Really hurt his match score because he only did 115 actual damage, so 48.
And you said we are switching the sides for both teams?
Yes, just drag and drop the players till all 5 of them are on the other side, and then switch the map to Tourmaline Conquest.
Already on it.
McGoat's a little salty because we gave away his strat with the Rifleman 2C. I mean, it is a risk, but you had the option to change it.
That is true. And let me get Orso over here.
I can only say sorry and say that that's kind of the way the game is played, my man.
Oh, come on now, Orso, you got to do a little bit of interaction there.
So, Tourmaline is going to be a really interesting map. I'm expecting both sides to stack Charlie points, and considering we're all fighting over Kappa. Generally, it plays out with either a high side hold, usually we've seen a lot of AC2s this time. We've seen PPCs and LRMs in the past. But generally a lighter drop in terms of the heavy mechs you bring just for the extra ballistic mounts. Lots of usually a 2v2 light fight develops in Fox 6. Team 2 does have a better option to support their lights from that position. So it becomes a race of can Team 2 kill the lights before Team 1 kills their heavies.
Yeah, by taking those lights out of the play, they do have an advantage and I have to watch the backs every 5 seconds.
Yeah, we've not seen much use of the higher ground strats, either up here or 80's buddy trying to use the very tippy top of the Fox 6 ridge. Just too much of a commitment on jump jets and doesn't have the same appeal that the Echo 6 and Golf 5 high ground does.
Right, Echo 6 would kind of pretty much strand you out a little bit too far away from your teammates if they do want to make a push towards the objective.
So the most interesting thing I've seen is doing mid-range Daka Brawl through the Valley of Death from the Team 1 side, and you're essentially committing all of your resources, going low, and then pushing up the cliffs, and either around this way or around the other way up here, trying to close in on the AC2 max and get under their guns, and then bring bigger guns to bear.
By distracting them there, it'll give them a chance.
Yeah, generally it's scouted out by the light that gets placed in Bravo, but if it isn't, it can be very dangerous. That's more of an all-in strat that I expect from a lower division, though. I'm just expecting as many AC2s as they can bring.
Never enough Daka, right?
Yep. Team 1 has 3 minutes.
We are having a team switch now on JGX, bringing Nate to the play.
I like Nate.
I haven't talked to him at all. I actually haven't talked to a lot of these guys, but I have played with them, so.
Oh, you're hanging around the right crowd.
Of course. Pretty much just doing what I can to help the community because I love it. I've been playing this game for only about a year and a half now, and I don't have any intention of leaving as long as it stays active.
Yes, I'm aware that we made our mistakes, but everyone reacted within the rules there. They had the option to change the deck.
They're giving you a hard time.
Yeah, but I deserve it. I told everybody I'd double check on you, and I saw Frozen City and didn't double check that it was night. I didn't think they'd order a redrop, but it is the correct move.
Sometimes things like that happen, but hopefully for next time, it'll be better. If anything, though, it's good that it started out around the beginning of the match instead of midway through, so that way we can save up on time.
We're trying. Kraz is going to be a little upset because of the way this is going, but God Squad's sitting here. They've got 2 pilots in, and they're...
Here they come now. Speak of the devil and he shall appear.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about it. They're running out of time. They got 1:30 left.
What happens at that point? Do they just lock it down and they play with who they have?
No, they're officially declared forfeit, and JGX 5-0's the match.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty harsh rules. They try to keep things moving.
Well, they are efficient. Not really sure what's going on in the goat's end, but hopefully they're able to get it sorted.
Team 1 minute. I started the clock as soon as teams were officially on the correct side and the correct map was picked.
Yeah, I can hear Cress's frustrated grunting right now at this.
Yeah, I don't know what issues McGoat's having, but They need to get in here and get set fast.
Yeah, they need to rush. They need to have their mechs already picked pretty much in order to get the best results.
So you're dragging everybody to Charlie. Hopefully the
Better hope it's the right choice. I mean, they don't have a lot of time left on their hands to lock in.
10 seconds.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he literally made it with 2 seconds to spare.
Wow.
All right. I mean, if you want to use all of your 5 minutes, you use all of your 5 minutes. I guess that's how they're getting back at Kraz, because they changed the deck.
With 2 seconds on the clock, I'm sure that's some pucker factor right there. If it was intentional, then sure, they were really stressing the time.
Yeah, I'm just running a stopwatch program so it doesn't beep and set everything off.
Mm-hmm. Team 1 is now locked in, just waiting on JGX to finalize.
260 tons, that is fairly light. So, once again, expecting things like Rifleman 2Cs, Jaeger mechs. Could do Night Jeers, we've seen that before. Trying to think, what other good ballistic heavies are there? Especially for range. I've seen a lot of Gauss hammers, and they've never impressed. They've always been out of range, and yeah, you've got the super low exposure time, but you don't have the punch at that distance. Better for
the
supporting
problem with
light
Gauss
fight.
hammers is that they're very niche in their support range. You have to find that right bracket in order to be able to actually dish out the damage you need. But if you do get in range, you are able to do a heavy amount of havoc. Very good for finalizing on core components for enemy mechs.
Yeah, but you know what else works for that? More DACA.
More DACA, that is correct.
Need a higher level of violence.
A little more bang for the buck.
Well, there's always so much downtime in these Div A matches. It's just
Might as well just kick back, pour yourself a cold one.
I mean, I'd make you get up and get a beer. They won't be locked by the time I get back.
I already got whiskey over here, so I'm just waiting.
3 minutes.
So both teams are ready, just waiting on the final call out for being locked from Kraz. All right. Both teams are locked. We are launching now.
So, Psycho, how are you enjoying co-casting?
I'm having a lot of fun, actually. I get to watch a lot of the better teams and better players, as a matter of fact, be able to actually dish out their own tactics, learn from what works and what doesn't, as well as see what builds are actually pretty viable for these matches.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm mentally taking notes right now, and I love it.
I think System Belmont. I mean, Kurlon doesn't really do it anymore. Kraz has taken up a lot of the exhibition matches, but I know he doesn't particularly enjoy casting on his own.
Yeah.
So we've got a whole new generation of casters, and I keep trying to drag more and more people into it. I know Coyote and Aza are doing something. I've casted plenty with Level. But let's get into the match here and tell me what Jaguar guards have.
Okay, JJX, we have a Commando, Sun Spider, a Warhammer Black Widow again, a Katana Cat, and a Night Jeer. For Pasha, it looks like we are bringing in the same UAC 5 build with quads. For Nate and the Night Jeer, it looks like we have 2 UAC 2s and 5 regular AC 2s, which is going to be interesting to see. Lots of dock on that end.
Well, JJX going for the cap early, but they're going to be deeply surprised when these archers and summoners, all with SRMs, come barreling at them. So
Oh yeah, I see that. They are closing in and getting around that flank right now. JGX should be able to react accordingly if they're able to get into position.
Nate's in a very good position. He's being joined up here by Kraz, but this is going to be a painful 400 yards for them to cover. They
Sorry,
do
over here,
have the
keeping
cap
watch.
point, however, so they could just take it and sit back underneath the ridge and underneath the guns.
Looking at the type of mechs that are heading towards Dario right now, I don't think he'll be able to hold it, seeing as Stimrog and a Summoner and Zyos and a Quick Draw are closing in and putting pressure on. Doesn't look
Bowser
like they're going to
could
be
hit
taking the
this
cap,
strike,
but they are going to lock it down. That is true.
does take 10%. Ouch. That was... Alright, airstrikes are better than artillery strikes.
Apparently.
I've casted entirely too many games where the artillery strikes essentially did nothing, but that was a comprehensive beating by that plane.
Strikeout on Stimrog, which, by the way, seems to have a flamer in his loadout. Looks like he's really going for that brawl range, trying to lock down any lights that come through.
Theta has been neutralized, but Daria has been able to do enough chip damage on Xyros to keep it from fully flipping and starting to count up.
He's definitely buying his team enough time. It looks like JGX is doing a peel tactic where they're trying to get the higher ground, which now they're actually putting some pressure on and getting aggressive now. Really allowed his teammates to get into position that they needed to in order to be able to confront these guys more effectively.
Now that is truly a sliver cap. I don't even see it. A lot of strikes going down. They have been softened up by the AC2s and the strikes, but if they can get to brawl range and not lose too much more health in this, I think they'll still have it.
Looks like McGoat has been taking quite a beating on his Wolfhound. Both of his arms are stripped as well as his backside, so we'll see what's going to happen here.
Well, this is going to be essentially a game of Battleship for the next probably minute or so as they use up all their strikes, starting to get some initial damage down. Commando is the only one that's been touched for Jaguar guards.
Mm-hmm. Seems like the rest of God Squad is hugging that rock wall and trying to stay out of the open and giving JGX an easy shot off to do some extra damage.
Guys, radio cast.
Yeah, it's sorted.
Please. Okay, cool.
So anyway, Team 1's got SRMs, they're in the bowl. Team 2's got AC2s, but does not have the cap.
It's another strikeout on Bowser and McGoat. Kraz finally taking damage with a strike on top of him, as well as MRMs coming in from the IV4. Looks like they're trying to do some poke tactics right now from the top of the ridgeline.
Not a lot of action going down. Like, they're really cagey about engaging on this, but they're going to run out of time. They need to do at least a little bit more damage, because they're not going to come out and brawl them, not unless they get into a better position. They've still got Nate back here in the Nightgear, who can shoot if they need to fall back and has cover, but...
Honestly, looking at the way this battle is going, the rest of GGX do need to push up in order to provide support for the guys that are in the front line in order to be able to take these guys out all at once, because they are pretty crowded.
Yeah.
With any luck, if they catch them off guard, we may be able to get some guys blocked off for GGX to be able to eliminate quickly, but it all depends on how fast they can react.
It's just...
Nate right now falling back with Pasha.
They're out of strikes, I believe. Or JGX is, I believe. No red smoke on this now very, very tight group of enemies. Dario's still trying to play that dangerous game. He's taking a lot of punishment for it, but he's trying to get Simrog in the line of fire.
That is true. It looks like Konglord is maintaining up top in his commando, trying to get recon on where the positions are of JGX for his teammates.
Here it comes.
Yep.
Stimrug, you don't want to go that way. Stimrug, no.
No.
You gotta stay close and keep Nate from
Looks
farming
like
everybody.
Konglord is performing a massive push, distracting. Oh, looks like they're all focusing on him. God Squad should probably capitalize on this and push up if they can.
They're out of SRM range. Konglord's got to die up there alone because the archer is not
Konglord is
going
going to be
in.
sacrificing for nothing if they do not capitalize. Oh, what are they doing? They're falling back. They are heavily damaged.
They're still trying to play the cap game, but I think you just spent your health. Like, they fell back, yes.
Looks like it was an
3 minutes, 40
opportunity wasted
seconds.
by God Squad.
Well, it's 3 minutes 40 seconds. They're basically betting that they can't all die. Konglord somehow manages to drop the Black Widow. A very heroic effort by him in the commando.
Very good trade-off because they just cut down the firepower.
Alright. JGX, you got to get in there. You don't have time to do this. If they kill the commando,
like is rushing
I'm not
in
sure
on
the
a
Panther.
heroic suicide mission.
I'm not sure the Panther's got the mobility to get to any of the other caps. They're really far apart from Kappa.
Down goes Zios.
Alright. If Bowser's got to drop one of these lights, if they're going to have a chance.
Never mind. Doesn't look like that's going to get a chance.
So, McGoat is running. If he can stay alive, they're only allowed to take the Kappa point. The commando is faster than him, though, so I don't think this is going to be a very long trip.
Looking at the damage on Dario and the damage on the goat, if I can actually get to it. It does look like Dario is going to be able to get the kill and finish him off in that little corner right there, and might call it game.
Well, they 2 minutes, 100 cap points, 120 cap points. So they need to 3 cap it very soon. Panther may have to start capping Theta before McGoat is officially dead.
And down goes McGoat. Panther already moving in towards the other points, as well as the rest of the surviving members of JGX.
I think they've got it by maybe 15, 20 seconds.
You may be right.
Should be able to 4 cap with the Panther going to Epsilon here.
Very interesting fight that went on there at the end.
Yeah, if the Archer had MRMs and been able to back up the quick draw a little bit more, because there was a big disconnect as they were rounding the corner and realized that the Nightjar was playing so far back, where the quick draw was trading, McGoat and the Wolfhound was trying to fall back, and the Archer was going forward, and they immediately swapped roles. The Wolfhound was starting to go forward, and the Archer fell back. So the call was to push. They all pushed. Once they rounded the corner, they kind of ran out of steam, tried to fall back to their hole, but they didn't have that much health left. It was still very, very close. Yeah, I don't know what they could have done differently there.
I don't know either, to be honest, but I know that JGX was able to maintain a very solid foothold on that push while keeping that light off their guys as soon as possible. I mean, they did get all distracted there. I saw at least 3 trying to gun for him, but it was, kind of necessary at that point.
I do want to give props to Nate for staying out of that fight, not getting suckered in, because him playing well out of the range of even the MRMs really gave them a lot of pause. It was hard to dive. Check the damage numbers here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nate staying out of the fight. Solid performance from him, keeping the rest of his team alive and making push kind of stall out. Konglord, with the epic dive, did manage to get the Black Widow. More or less 1v4 up there while his team died and stalled out. Stimrod got baited out and was in a pretty uncomfortable position, especially once he crossed Kappa and went to the left side, really exposed over there.
Yeah.
So
JGX was keeping themselves back long enough for where his MRMs weren't really cutting it when it came to damage.
I'll apologize immensely for that radio cast we did for the first half of this game. I need to definitely step up my caster game. Let's go take a look at stats page. Well, Psycho here gets the team swapped around and goes to our next map.
Yep.
River City, and then make sure it's daytime.
Right.
So
there we go.
For all of those strikes, very clean match. I guess it happens when you're 500 meters apart. Only Zyos in the quick draw probably landing one of those MRM-30s in his buddy's arm. Might have caught the archer.
Teams have been swapped around. We are good.
Alright, I'll start the timer. Team 1's got 5 minutes. Again, hopefully keeping these going a little faster. Why do I have 2 Tourmalines? Okay. So River City is going to be essentially a game of how many PPCs could you bring and how well do you use Pop-Tarts. And we saw from JGX in the 2v2 they can bring Pop-Tarts and play PPCs. So, gonna be...
It's definitely going to be quite a match. By the way, what are the points looking like so far for each team?
So right now it is JGX with 22, so 2 wins, full 10 points, as well as the 2 points from the 2v2. And God Squad's sitting on 3. They didn't kill anybody in the 2v2 and only got 1 kill first match, 2 kills second match. So
Squad is really going to have to step up here soon and try and rack up those points lost and try and catch up.
well, a win being 10 points is... Our win itself being 5 points, as well as 5 points for killing on the mechs, is going to be a big deal. So even
true.
taking 1 off JGX will make it a lot easier, staying ahead of RJF or... Well, I can check the tournament page. It's 228. Because they changed their names so many times. It's now Oops, it's the Wild Ones.
Can never figure out which ones they are sometimes.
Well, they just... A number of them aren't even 228 players. It's like Josh and Friends was their coin nickname by Crass. Back when we were sorting all the divisions and everything.
Sometimes you just got to put something that sticks and just roll with it. Other people are going to do the same.
Well, so generally it's been... that is the wrong tool for this. Generally it's been take airport. It's a fun box up here. You get Fox 7 to Golf 7. Potentially some Citadel play, but that's usually a little too close in case they have Assassins and Vulcans for a hit squad. Early light fights over Theta. And a question of, do you use the 3 mediums? Your 2 assaults are going to be playing back and playing long range. They almost have to. But do you use the 3 mediums as Pop-Tarts, or do you use them as a kill squad? That's been essentially the strat game that's been played out.
Essentially, it's whether or not you want to use them as a force multiplier or as like a strike team to finish off whoever's left and just rack up any kills that they have to in case anything goes, awry.
Alright, that's one team locked. Start the timer for the other one.
Roger that. Question is, though, is whether or not where their positioning will be heavily, the most, I should say. Would they be taking Echo 5 or around the Fox 5 region in the buildings? What do you think?
I think you take Echo 5. Yes, the Fox 6 is too dangerous. Fox 5 has too limited sightlines if you're trying to fight both airport and into Fox 7. So the high ground is very nice there. I think Team 1's got a big advantage, just so long as they don't cap Gamma on accident.
I agree.
Just position into the a nice bit of cover. So you just leave probably 1 or 2 mechs up in Echo 7 and play the rest of them down low.
Yeah, they have a beautiful sightline across pretty much that entire half of the map, no matter where you look.
The one thing I've yet to see is anybody playing like really aggressive across the Gulf line. Like if Team 2 did a super aggressive push, trying to make it down below the Citadel, coming up and forcing a lot closer range fight. I mean, yeah, Team 1 could just evacuate, take the high ground, and now you're in the same position, just flipped. And now you've got SRMs that have to cross the water. But I think there is something to be said for trying to do like a Golf 7 push-up play. And even if they cross, you just push across the water. You're going to take a lot of damage, but...
If done correctly, you could help divide their forces effectively enough to where one side could collapse on the other and put pressure on and force them back.
Yeah, taking something like a LRN Trebuchet, some mini Atlas Veagle, doing some mid-range DACA with Blood Asps and Madcat Mark IIs.
Take control of that center field and then force them back wherever you want to. Kind of shepherd them in.
Yeah, just it automatically gives you Theta, and then if they play high side, you just sit below them and you play cap control games. Or you go and they don't back up fast enough, you get a free kill and leg something out, like an Annihilator and Echo 6. I mean, where's he going to go?
He doesn't have the speed to get anywhere, and he can't escape anyway, so he's just consigned to death.
Well, you got to back up the rest of... You can't lose an Annihilator for free. You'd have to have the entire rest of your team turn back and engage, and at that point, you take the favorable engagement. So, I don't know. I think Team 2 needs to come up with something a little interesting in order to win this. I don't think winning the PPC fight is going to be enough, especially not versus JGX.
Well, knowing that both of these teams are very well experienced in these types of engagements, I'm sure we'll see something interesting happen when the match starts.
There is hope. Wait. McGoat is once again going to take his entirety of his 5 minutes.
I really love sitting back and watching that timer go.
Well, you got to see where they're at, where they're locked into. I mean, they took the Alpha Charlie spawns on the Team 1 side, so nobody's playing Bravo. Could be interesting that way. But this is a little ridiculous.
I'm excited to see Pasha go to work in this one with the PPCs. Honestly, him and Crash together are just scary in general with anything that's long range.
It seems all the other matches have ended. We've kind of piled everyone who really cares about comp in here. Been a long match, unfortunately. Both due to caster error and normal Div A shenanigans. They've got 40 seconds. Are they still debating strategy or mechs? Because they need to get locked here.
Maybe they're debating on how close they can get to the timer.
Ready up, Konglord. Come on. 20 seconds. 15.
There we go. Say it. Come on.
All right.
All right.
Launch it.
Already on it.
So they're 20 tons under JGX. Or 30 tons under JGX. So they have brought something special. Let's see what it is. I'd be willing to bet they went with a kill squad for the mediums.
I mean, at this point, it would be the most reasonable choice, considering the advantages and disadvantages of certain sides.
And this time, it's not a radio cast. And this time, we have the right map, and it is set today.
Yes.
I've got my checklist open now that I can verify all this with.
Step 1, no radio casts.
Step 2, correct maps. Step 3, right teams. Right sides.
Step 4, profit.
Well, there's not a lot of profit in this unless Dai's out making gift subs, making it rain in here.
That won't happen.
For some reason, my frames keeps glitching out. Hopefully it stabilizes when the match officially starts. A lot of weird graphics issues. Alright, so what do we have over on God Squad side?
So, God Squad side, it looks like we have a Mad Cat, an Assassin, Vulcan, Phoenix Hawk, and Direwolf.
Well,
So, with the Mad Cat, looks like we have a DACA setup going on with the UAC 5, UAC 10s. Very nice, always a classic.
alright, well I got ER larges, PPCs, some Ultra 5s to the Mad Cat, so some concession has been made. They did take a Dervish 6MR, which I'm guessing, and a Phoenix Hawk 2, so they do have double MPLs. Probably expecting that Vulcan, the Phoenix Hawk 2, and the Assassin playing very aggressively across the Citadel here.
Yeah, it looks like you may be right on that strike squad over there, because all those mediums are just making a gun for it, just trying to get in early, get that cap, and probably get out and just wait.
Well, they're going for Theta, but if this Annihilator with ER larges can just sit here and chain fire and stop the cap, they're going to have a real hard time securing that. Yeah, they're bailing. Get out of there while you still have your health.
I was going to say, it's going to be a really interesting time not waiting for that Direwolf to come in, since it only has, well, I wouldn't say only, but 8 AC2s on it, so it's a Direwolf setup.
Okay, well, they're going to make it out of here, taking, what, 8% between them all? Give or take.
Yeah.
We do have the Dervish crossing over, going to secure Upper City. They've probably spotted the fact that the Dire Whale is alone and sending their own mediums to after him. That said, this kill squad can react very, very quickly.
By keeping him occupied, it will definitely cut down their effective long-range capabilities in half, with that Mad Cat trying to move into position right now as we speak. Doesn't have the advantage of terrain right now, as we see, with staying in the low side of City.
I don't know what's going on with my graphics card. Like, the water is kind of glitching out. It's a weird map.
It's a feature.
Yeah, PGI's got a lot of features at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's a little bit interesting. JGX is playing like they have the cap. They're all set up on top of airport, staying away from Gamma Cap.
They do seem very comfortable over there, not really making too much of an effort to try and push in and take that cap early on with the opening they've given themselves.
Yeah, Naveed is over here looking for those mediums. Doesn't see anything. He does see one of them now. Long range trading fire, Annihilator versus Direwolf. Tale as old as time.
Looks like the Mad Cat is joining in the fray on that, trying to put some extra pressure on and take him out.
8 takes a full 10% from that strike, all the way up into the back. But I still think he's got the advantage here if he plays it outright. Especially with Gorsuch and the Mark II helping him out. Pasha's trying to cover Navid as Navid looks and sniffs at that cap. I think these two mediums are waiting for him to try it. Although I'm not sure they want to tangle the mass firepower that's sitting up on that ridge.
Yeah, it looks like the Mad Cat is finally joining up with the Direwolf and trying to lend a hand in keeping the pressure off and put some fire on these guys to keep their heads down. It looks like Navid is going in for the cap now and securing it. I don't know where the mediums are going right now. Looks like they are trying to move into engage.
Going to let him have it. Does get a little bit of scratch damage. Does deny him taking the cap.
Resource point Theta is ours.
Looks like Pasha is providing support on that to make sure his guy gets out there safely. Assassin is moving in now.
That Assassin is MPLs.
Yeah, looks like Bowser is closing in. He's eyeing that point. He wants it.
Well, they've got to have it. Like, they've got to make JGX come off the high ground. And Krez over here is going to be able to be a real pain in the butt for them taking it back. They've got no high ground support to take him out, and he's got perfect lines into Theta.
He's been taking advantage of those positionings early on in Rock Garden, making sure that he's in a spot where he won't get picked off too easy, but still able to support that point if needed.
Yeah, because the Ultraviolet's having to play so far to the right, Stimrog's getting into the action here, trying to harass Navid, the Vapor Eagle. But he's not here to where he can hit Kras, and he's taking a lot of damage for it.
Yeah, it looks like Grolsch is taking the advantage of the attention not being diverted to him to get a little extra damage off of him.
This strike
looks like he's spawned his right torso as well.
No, it does be able to back out. It's not an airstrike. Meanwhile, the Mark II-B is now in a heap of trouble. They're all going in one at a time, trying to make the hero move. It was just kind of like what I was saying earlier.
Interesting move here by Zyos, trying to move in towards Rock Garden, even though Crass is there and waiting, trying
Yeah,
to take
well, they have
advantage
to
of
dig
it.
out the Dervish. If they can dig out the Dervish, they can get the cap. But
And it looks
Zyos is
like
going to pay for it, and the three
looks like he's
mediums
gonna
are
get,
going for the assaults.
Yep, he's been left by himself, and that means Navid and Kraz are probably going to get the kill here after Wolf packing him, making him a stick, and that is
So
it.
they're going to trade Pasha for the Mad Cat, and probably Gorsuch too, as these mediums come and crash in. Nate the Annihilator isn't really healthy, but he is still an Annihilator, and 60% of that is more health than any of these three mediums put together have. Going to be really difficult taking him down, especially with Crass over here supporting him, but Stembrog still staying alive.
And down goes Kraz. And
Okay,
it
so
looks
this is
like the
a
main
tight
long-range
fight.
support of God Squad has been taken out, with now just the mediums in play.
Yeah,
JGX still has a little bit of range control, but they are getting closed in on as we speak.
the Annihilator has just been halved. And now he's got one ER large left, so they're going to switch their focus to Navid.
And
God
one laser in
Squad's
a
probably
dream.
pulled this out.
So like the strike team tactic has worked out in their favor, being able to eliminate those PPCs early on in that push.
Stimrog staying alive and being able to re-engage at the crucial point of that fight won that, because he was able to get a lot of backshots in Kraz, able to support taking down the Madcap Mark IIB from across the way. Yeah, Kraz eventually took him down with a CT shot, but the simple fact that he was over there and didn't die, massive, massive help.
Yeah, he was a trooper trying to shrug off that damage and providing these guys enough time to be able to engage effectively without having the PPCs locking onto them and just ripping them apart. So good on him.
And in a very, very biased way, I'm happy that we don't have a 5-0. This is going to get really interesting. So,
I always love it when the other team actually gets to fight back and show a little bit that they're not done.
well, you can never count these pilots out. They're too good for that.
Oh no. They're in it all the way.
They were able to slip right by the Citadel, come up across the side. I mean, Kraz and who was their Phoenix Hawk to?
Phoenix Hawk, I believe,
were both
is
killing the Madcap Mark II. If they'd gone for Stemrog and essentially traded the assaults for the assaults, maybe it would have worked out a little bit better. Sent Kraz one way and sent the Phoenix Hawk back to cover Nate.
do like a dual hunting tactic right there, try and put them all out.
Well, they knew he was there. They had him pinned because he was stuck behind a rock. If he peeked out, the ER large lasers were hitting him. I don't know. It's very interesting. Well, take a look at the damage scores. I mean, Stimrock, 1,000 damage. And that ultraviolet. Huge. Huge. Game changing.
All right, and that's it for River City. Looks like we're going on to Rubelite.
Rubelite is the best map, at least for comp. Fight me.
No, I agree with you there. It's a fun map. I love it. I haven't played on it too much in terms of comp due to my experience, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. We'll be moving the teams now. All right, both sides have been swapped. Now we just have to wait to see what the other teams want in terms of their makeup.
All right, we can go into the map strat and talk about it a little bit from there.
Okay.
So, I think God Squad's had the best results when they've gone Brawl, because they had the advantage at one point during the Stormline fight. They were just able to win River City. I think playing the PPC trade game versus JGX is not going to work. So, if you're going for a Brawl strat from Team 1 side, you've actually got a fairly decent pocket at Echo 5 low, and then use your scouter to find them. So long as they're not set up Fox 7 high, it's really easy to dig them out. That said, Team 2 from Fox 7 can shoot directly into Theta. It's got no cover, and it's already slanted on the backside of the hill.
quite literally going to be an uphill battle at that point, depending. But you're right, though, on that Echo 5 side, really good area to try and get in early and see if they can get eyes on what the movement is of the enemy team.
We have seen several Zimbabwe flanks, for better or for worse. We have seen high side trade. We've seen DACA push. DACA push has always been kind of the meta of this map, taking AC5s and AC2s and going, I'm going to win the DPS battle versus your PPCs. So,
Pretty much, he who has the most guns moving forward wins.
yeah, big guns never tire and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
far, I'm
just-
interested in seeing the types of angles that their sharpshooters are going to have when it comes to hitting them, if they have any at all, that is. But you are right on the fact that God Squad does have a bit of an advantage in terms of their ability to brawl a bit better into situations like this.
Well, real quick, we can go to the score as well. McGoat continues to take all of his 5 minutes that he's allowed. And for as tight as the matches have kind of been, JGX still holds a pretty commanding lead. It's 24-13. Again, that win crawling back a ton of points for God Squad here. So I like the new format that the kills matter a lot. The objective is kind of secondary. Kill all 5 max, spread out, get 5 cap. Doesn't really matter beyond that point. Of course, oversimplifying everything, but we are casters. We aren't playing. We can do that.
Looks like we are just waiting on. Let's see here. God Squad is missing one person right now. Or is it. Yep, there we go. There he is.
Well, for those of you that have been watching the other streams, have there been any upsets? Because I was not able to catch either the stream that was going on when MW Leagues 1 or 2. Guess we'll have that result like 2 minutes by the time they release it.
Yeah, pretty much. Looks like we do have a healthy audience right now. We do have 65 people listening in and watching.
My goat, man, these times just I can't vamp for 5 minutes between every drop. You gotta pick up the pace a little bit. These Div A matches take
When
forever.
Crash's attitude, he's going to be a little irked at the end, I'm sure, if interviews do start.
Well, hopefully they get locked in here. They look like they're in the right lances at least for doing something of a down low strat. Probably going down towards Fox 6 based on those, but I guess we'll see.
If they do get into that low ground on Fox 6, we are going to see a hefty fight over there. Especially if they catch him on that ramp.
I could go higher on Fox 6. I just think that's too in the way of the PPCs. No reason to make it harder on yourself and to shoot up at annihilators.
Gotta work smarter, not harder. At least in that case, when it comes to sniping. I don't think for either of these teams that's going to be too much of an issue in getting the angle on the enemy team on target.
Come on. Lock, damn it.
Seems at this point they're just getting rid of people and adding them back in just to mess with us.
I mean, they're officially at time, so I don't know. Like,
You've been giving them way too many chances.
yes, it's been 5 minutes. It's been 5. Timer starts when team...
It's like Team 2 still needs their one more person for their team. All right. Looks like they have Dario now. Just waiting on that final word, and then we can begin. Finally. Oh, ouch.
Shade I deserve. Shade I deserve.
Ouch. No, that's shit on me. We all know that.
Shoot, red things can happen anytime.
Oof. Just waiting on those nice green lights from JGX before we can begin. Hopefully we can actually get a very exciting match here, considering the fact that God Squad is still hanging in there, trying to keep up.
Yeah, they seem to have finally settled on a team that they're happy with. They just keep having to drop and reuse things in the mech lab, which would be very helpful if they did that beforehand. Because they're playing more or less the same 7 guys for all these drops. So, I mean, it's not that hard.
Seems like they're firing off ideas mid loadout, and they're just like, "Oh, hey, I want this. No, I want that one." All right, we got green across the board. Just waiting on the final word from Mr. Crass.
Mirrored setup. This is the first drop that God Squad's outdone JGX.
You're right.
So.
All the other times, JGX has been above by maybe, what, like 15 to 20 tons?
Yeah, and this is medium heavy 3 assaults. So, could be that they're taking the Annihilator and going to do the...
All right, both teams are locked.
DD.
We are going.
Launch it. Rubbing a little more salt into that wound. Just want to say it takes Kraz like half the time it does McGoat. Throwing that one out there.
Oof. You're just gonna melt that one, aren't you?
I am. We've been casting for an hour and a half, man. I can't vamp that long. Like, I just gotta figure.
Your brain just starts fizzling out a little bit.
It's not my brain that's the problem. Is I run out of things to say. It's just we're staring at a lobby screen waiting on 5 people who are still talking about the strat with like a minute to go before they have to be locked.
Right. It's like you're trying to fill that void of silence.
Alright. Go tell us what JGX has.
Okay, for JJX, looks like we do have an Annie and a Mad Cat bringing in the heavyweights, as well as an Executioner and Summoner. Pasha and the Summoner, no surprise there, with a PPC setup, as well as a Vulcan to try and bring in a little bit of speed to their mix.
I got Ultras, 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 and Ultras. PPCs being some backup, and the Black Lantern doing small pulls ER Micro, so a lot of mix of ranges. I've got everything from PPCs to AC-10s.
Yeah, looks like Crass is being extra cautious here with his triple peeps and 10 ER micros, so he's definitely waiting for a fight close range. As for Grolsch and Nate, it looks like they are bringing a hefty set of ER large lasers and quad PPCs on the Mad Cat.
Could be an interesting fight here between the Vulcan and Black Lantern.
Yeah,
Neither
good.
really has the support of the team, so...
Seems JGX is just going to purely going to be going long range on this one. As for God Squad, I don't know.
As I say, neither has the support of the team. PPCs fly out and Black Lantern immediately runs away.
Black Lanterns have literally become the definition of gas, gas, gas.
So, Warhawk and Direwolf are probably going to play Nest, shoot at the other Nest that's got the Annihilator and their Summoner, PPC, Executioner. The real question I've got is, what is this Mad Cat Mark 1 going to do? Because he's going to be the odd one out.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what is going to happen here.
And we've got
He's
the
rolling with Pasha at least. So
yeah,
they
we've
are
got the
pairing
AC-10s on the Annihilator and the Summoner from God Squad. They've got to push somewhere. And it looks like they're setting up to go low and try and take this side. The goat falls off. Doesn't quite make the jump jet he needed to. Just go up the
So
ramp.
he's running directly in front of that Vulcan as well.
I mean, it's been the same essential playbook from JGX the entire time. Send a fast mech to cap, set up in power positions with long range around the cap. Make them come to you.
It also seems like JGX is also making an emphasis on making sure that their long-range mechs do have the speed to relocate if they ever are in trouble. Minus the Annie, they do have an Executioner and a Mad Cat that's always on the move, plus the Summoner.
Yeah, Bowser doesn't really like what he's doing right now, and I don't think they plan not to have the cap at this point. But they have in no way the ability to take it without dislodging some of these mechs. Looks like
he's definitely
Zeros
hesitant on
is
getting
trying
that
to do
cap.
exactly that and bully this Summoner out of position. We've got Magoat coming in from the other side, so Pasha's the clear target. But we still have a PPC, Annihilator, an Executioner. You got Mad Cat's for ER Large Annihilator.
Goat is trying to engage Pasha right now in a Summoner v Summoner 1v1 right here. DACA versus PPCs.
Yeah, but the PPCs have the support of the rest of the team. The DACA's team is kind of spread all over the place and do not know quite what to do. I'd be willing to bet at this point that JGX picked the maps based on this fight. This is the one they wanted. This is the one they looked most prepared for.
Yeah, they definitely look comfortable in this. Not any nervousness or anxiety in their motions in terms of where they're positioning themselves. They're confident. They got the high ground as well. This is their hunting ground. They know what they're doing. Speaking of getting spread out, it seems that Zyos and Bowser are locked up together underneath this bridge, and they are trying to get an angle on Grolsch right now, who just lost an arm, but that's really not needed anyway.
Yeah, it's hard to capture all the action. It's just got to be kind of watch the percentages in the fights. Kraz is taking a fair bit of punishment, as is Pasha. They're really focusing on striking out the nest here.
Looks like Dario is joining the fight against McGoat, trying to soften him up and get him off Pasha right now.
Bowser being very bold and very dangerous. He comes in more or less under the guns of 4 mechs.
But not unnoticed, it seems.
Yeah, a fair bit of PPC fire going out.
Looks like the Warhawk and the Summoner for God Squad are pushing up now. Warhawk moving up very close to where Pasha and Nate do have a shot on him. Dario's getting chased by Bowser, it seems. Oh, never mind. Looks like they just crossed paths and ignored each other.
Pretty consistently, it's been strike, make them move, and then move up to react to it.
Pretty much. It seems like Zyos is pushing in now, getting aggressive with that Annie, pushing up on Grolsch.
Yeah, the Dire Wolf is low here. It's probably moving up to help. They're going to take Nest. They don't have Theta yet, so Bowser, now is your time to shine and go grab it.
Zyos has definitely crippled their Annie. Grolsch only has 1 ER large laser remaining on his mech. Looks like he will probably be the first to go down depending on how this turns out. But he does have support from 2 other teammates, Kras and Pasha, backing him up.
Yeah, we got a lot of fire going in. It's going to be a question of can the Annihilator kill the Executioner? I think that's going to be the biggest fight here.
Zyos falls, and that's it. The CT not able to handle the combined strength of 3 mechs on him at once.
Well, Stimrog's right here as well, so it's just going to repeat itself again, except they're even more damage this time.
Looks like Kong has gone down now, Nate taking out the Warhawk. That leaves McGoat on that flank remaining, while Stimrog and Bowser are still dealing with any other mechs.
Point blank fight, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it! Nope.
Those micro lasers are so deadly if you use them correctly. So far, he's just racking in the damage.
Correct. Just look at the health percentages on JGX. Just a little bit more from any of them, they'd all pop. But they've been able to rotate their health in, and I mean, the strikes have done spread damage, so that's kind of inflating the percentages a little bit.
Looks like Dario is going on a 1v1 with Black Lantern. Crass hanging back because you can literally sneeze on him and he'll die. Oh, looks like MWOComp is going to come in and claim that kill, though. Not today.
Yeah, but he's now got 3 people shooting at him from 3 different directions, so... Maybe not
Pretty
today,
much
but
give him a
certainly
reminder
soon.
that the fight is not over yet. A goat over here with a triple CT, and now no CT. Pasha claiming the kill.
So, Grosh staying alive really helped. He was able to body tank a lot of damage. They went
really
after
did his
Pasha
job.
early, who reacted by falling back to Nate. Essentially set up just big thin line of PPCs and ER larges and dared him to come after. Took a ton of strike damage because of how concentrated they were, but I don't know.
Area is controlled by the enemy.
I think if you're going to play team one side and try and do a strat like that, you don't take the Black Lantern. You just concede the fact that you're not going to get cap early, and you take a better medium.
Yeah, that Vulcan definitely had the advantage of speed there, as well as maneuverability, trying to get out of places that were looking a little sketchy in terms of positioning and being exposed. Black Lantern definitely did not have luck on his side.
Nate, once again, doing top damage, just kind of staying out of harm's way and being an ever-present DPS threat.
His ability to
Meanwhile,
hold
the
that
other
flank
side,
is definitely
Stimrog,
commendable.
really holding his own on that Direwolf. He's played it excellently every time he's brought it out. It's just not quite been enough. At least not this time.
Overall, I went into that match hoping to see a lot of what I expect from JGX with their ability to fight at long range, and I definitely was not disappointed on that.
Well,
All right.
gotta check the lobby stats, see if we get any good quality team damage.
In the meantime,
I mean, I'm hunting for it. I want them to be as bad about it as I am. That's the long and the short of it. Are teams on the positions? Sorry, to
Teams
start timer.
are swapped now,
All right, timer starting.
and I am going to be switching over to Canyon now.
Reset the timer.
We are good to
then.
go.
So, really interesting. It's kind of put this game out of reach for God Squad in terms of scores at this point. But it is a long tournament. You're going to face them again. There's no real reason not to try and get everything you can out of this. So, map strat for Canyon. God Squad, I fully trust. I want to believe that they're going to play NASCAR.
You want them to hang in. You want them to do it.
It's what's worked. Every time they've been able to close and bring the shorter range weapons, they've had better results. Like
That is true.
the
mean, looking at
Warhawk was not a factor for God Squad in that last match. It was the Annihilator and the Direwolf that made the most significant push and was able to do most significant damage. So,
looking at the trench line over here, it seems like it's going to be pretty close in terms of depending what loadouts Team 1 and 2 bring. But like you said, I am hoping to see a little bit of that NASCAR action, get a little bit of that brutal close-range fighting going on towards the center.
I'm going to jinx it. I'm just going to say that right now. We've not seen any clag from either side, and if you're going to bring it, Canyon Network's not bad.
Get a little bit of that farming damage with the LRMs. That would be very entertaining. You're just pointing out a spot for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can play Charlie 5, back in Charlie 3, over on the left side of Echo 3, firing into Theta across the radio tower. Like, you're limited to 250 tons, but it's not that hard to slip a trebuchet in there. And it
It
would
definitely would be good at
certainly
softening
fit.
up the targets for sure.
It would certainly fit the JGX MO of taking the cap and then making God Squad come to them.
They are very
If it-
patient. They are definitely the more patient of the two teams here in terms of how they've been engaging the enemy opponents. Well, Max, words are hard. I'm struggling here.
2-hour cast will do that to anybody.
Yeah.
You get to go have
I
dinner
mean,
and then do it all over again here in a little bit.
oh yeah. So far, I'm enjoying this though. I'm having a lot of fun watching what's going on and playing out without being like directly in the combat myself.
Yeah, some rough early edges, but we got there eventually. Hopefully, we don't
Yeah,
screw
it
this
happens.
last one up.
Oh, now you're just jinxing me.
Oh, I'm good at jinxing everybody, and I don't have any wood to knock on. My desk is all glass, so we're
I'm gonna have
doomed.
to throw my desk at you. Mine's wooden. It's got the weight.
I deserve it, but I don't care.
It's okay. Yeah, no, I definitely feel better about, I mean, I definitely should have been able to pay attention to the mistakes I made last time in the beginning, keep my eye out, but so far I'm getting more into the groove.
I think I'm not Magoat's favorite person. He's sniping at me a bit in these lobbies.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, sorry, not sorry, bro. Like, don't make your strats up day of. Don't leave the match to go add, 3 tons of AMS ammo on your mech because you finally
The
realize you
ammo,
need
he
it.
needs it.
Drop
He
in.
needs
I mean, you could do that ahead of time. Like, I wouldn't be upset, but it's every damn drop. So,
He's like an orc. He can't make up his mind on how much DACA he needs.
Levels in here saying Canyon's one of the worst to learn on. No. Because of the angle of the LRMs, you can fire them like from the canyon floor over the canyon walls. It's great cover. But
Pop-Tart ATMs. Ooh. Now you're just being mean. That's war crimes in a basket.
yeah, but with as much, you wouldn't take Pop-Tart ATMs on a team that was always going to rush you anyway. That's asking for trouble. You take Pop-Tart ATMs on a team that's too passive.
Yeah. Was that your stomach?
That was, yes. I'm having some.
Ooh.
I'm paying for my cheap Mexican food that I ate for dinner right before this. I'm trying to make it to the end of the cast, but
He'll get you some good stuff.
I can't afford good stuff, man. I'm broke.
Nah. That makes two of
I
us.
spent all my money on new casting equipment to make this a little better.
I spent all my money on medic school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, I've been really loving this $50 setup that I have. It was on sale, and so far it came with everything I needed, and I'm loving it. Has not failed me once.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of new filters trying to dampen the loud sounds and increase the quiet ones. They didn't quite work for Aza, so I reconfigured them last night. Hopefully everyone
Gotcha.
can hear you a little bit better.
Hopefully, yeah.
Got the new soundtrack so we can kind of lead things in. Make sure nobody misses the 2v2 fight early, because I was guilty of it just as much as anybody else was. The casters were essentially waiting till they were ready to launch the 1v1 for TLC1. And so everyone would always miss it because they were loading in,
Oh wow.
3 minutes after the fact, but the 1v1 was already over. So trying to give people a little more time to lead in.
Yeah, no, it's very good. I think it's going pretty well so far with the strat that you got.
Plus, I've got our super loud keyboard, trying to limit that as well.
Yeah. My keyboard's not too loud, it's just that my mic picks up everything. I've been trying to fine-tune it a little bit better to make sure it doesn't bring up enough of that background sound. It's been doing all right.
Looks like we're all green. We're all matched in tonnage.
Crass has locked his team in, just waiting on God Squad now.
Yeah, they're green. They're just not saying locked yet.
Watch him run the timer. All right, both teams are ready. We are locking in.
I don't enjoy lock-ons. I enjoy everyone screaming about lock-ons, Firehawk. I played World of Tanks for years. We complained about artillery every day.
Oh, jeez, don't
And
remind me of that game.
They reworked artillery like 3 times. They did the same thing World of Warships with carriers, reworked. No one's ever happy with indirect fire because there's nothing you can do about it. Until they give you a way to like raise your AC5 and start shooting down missiles. It's not going to work. I mean, you can do AMS here, and I guess if you're that much of an anti-missile complainer, can always do that. So,
Okay.
Summoner with double Ultra 10s, Assassin SRMs, Vulcan. No big surprises. The Maul is kind of a surprise, taking an Assault Mech, committing a lot of ton and short Stimrog. Double Gauss Rifle,
splitting after
Trippy
Flea there.
PC.
He's already about to get the cap, probably. Yep, there it is. Early on.
Meanwhile, JGX is committing to a much more conventional strat. Double Catapult Js? PPCs?
Yeah. One of them has
Mid
medium
pulse.
pulse. Yep.
Yeah, the one
So
also
Gus
has
would
mid
really
pulse, so
capitalize on that speed they had in order to get a UAV up as well to overlook it.
JGX has decided they like NPLs and they like lots and lots of them.
So
Double
they're going
AMS
for
on
the
the
natural strat.
Catapult says they heard me when they were talking about the lock-ons. They were
And
afraid
so
of
it
it too.
begins.
Yeah, Zeros is
Stimrog
taking
hanging
a
back.
ton of pain. It's going to be a lot
Oh.
on Stimrog getting damage out of these PPCs, but he's being left behind by his team. Vulcan
He's
and
definitely gonna be a
Dervish
high
can jump
priority
over
target
and
with those
jump him.
Gauss rifles.
Oh, this is just going to turn into a glorious, glorious mess.
Dario running around trying to get the drop on Stimrog right now. Oh,
Got
never mind.
3
Looks like he's
separate
going around
fights going on.
tank. Yeah, they seem to be very spread out.
Darius is probably going to be the first one to go down. The Vulcan's closing in for the kill along with the Commando, but Kraz is not doing any better than the Catapult. The Maul was able to get out of there. He was still being chased, I believe. Trying to
Wasting
find him.
Gauss runs on the UAV there. Don't know why, but hey, you do you.
Yeah,
Looks like he's having to go the long way now in order to meet up with his team. McGoat coming in.
the biggest thing is Stimrog is currently out of this fight because he doesn't have any jump jets. He's going to sneak around and probably get some back shots, but he's not contributing anything. I think McGoat and Bowser need to fall back towards him a little bit, and Konglor can disengage.
Yeah, looks like Dario's now giving him any quarter either, using those flamers to try and make him overheat and get him stuck in between all of his teammates.
Yeah, it looks like they just popped his side torso or his arm. Hard to say.
It looks like it was his arm, but his side torso is hurting real bad, and down he goes. Scratch one for Naveed. Crass really hanging back in the fight now with his CT open and already losing a side torso. Trying to be careful in this fight here.
I think...
Conlord moving in towards radio.
Yeah, pretty sure this is over. They may get Kraz, but Konglord's got to do some heroic efforts trying to grab him. Yeah, 5-0.
Torso taking him down mid-flight, and that is that.
So, when Stimrog was sitting here trying to get his shots and damage off, trying to protect his friends that were in the canyon, they should have pulled back towards him instead of making him drop down and try and defend himself, because it took him out of the fight for entirely too long.
I agree. Yeah, that pushback definitely limited his ability to actually get in there and do the damage he needed to with those Gauss rifles, because those would have been very beneficial in that fight there at the end.
I do like the tech choice of these MPL catapults.
Yeah, the Jester are very good at doing the energy boat right now when it comes to close range.
Well, they were looking for what they could put double AMS on, and your choices were Crab, Black Knight, catapults, those sorts of things. And if you're doing MPLs, the catapult with its significantly squished 3D model Nice compact frame, nice high mounts, jump jets. What more could you want? Probably what the jump jets are probably why they didn't take the crab.
I mean, they could have taken the SL version, but that has the XL engine and really doesn't offer you much in terms of durability.
Pasha getting top damage out of it. Kraz took a ton of pain early, so he stayed back. Darion the Commando was the one that went after the Maul, made him turn around and took him out of the fight. So Stimbrog doing those, using all those 80 tons and only get 241 damage out of it. That's rough to come back from.
Yeah. Of course, he had the Daka Summoner coming in and wasn't able to do his part as well as he probably thought he would.
Well, that being said, I mean, you've seen over and over in this match JGX take control and then they suddenly throw an MPL murder ball at you. It's hard to be prepared for that.
It definitely probably threw God Squad off their game when it comes down to the fact that they're so used to seeing him being patient and waiting back, trying to get control of the situation and the terrain, and then they're suddenly up in your face without a moment's thought.
Yeah. And go check the final score table here, but it has been a fairly convincing win for
I'd say so.
JGX. Took 2 damn hours to do, but convincing nonetheless. 44-15. Props. Anyway, I've got nothing more to say. I've said too damn much over this damn cast.
You and me both. That makes two of us. I definitely enjoyed watching this, though, and being here for my first time as caster, so I appreciate the opportunity.
And thank you for bearing with us. A couple of early technical difficulties, but we got everything sorted. Appreciate you all, and I will catch you in, I believe, we've got a match being cast at 8 p.m. and another match being cast at 9 p.m. The one I'm casting will be a lot more Brawl Rush. I got KDCM in mind versus Smoke Adders. Should be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Catch you all later.